Today I'm going to be making a recipe that I've never made before in my life. Beggar chicken. It is soft, tender, herbaceous, nutritious, and definitely a recipe that brings me back to my childhood growing up. Alright guys, so Beggar'S chicken. It's something I've had several times growing up and my family absolutely loves it, right? But, however, I've never made this before. So this is the first time I'm going to be making Beggar'S chicken, and if I get it wrong, please guys, be nice, okay? Now, the folk tale towards Beggar'S chicken is that, you know, once upon a time in China, there was a beggar who stole the chicken and he had no means to cook the chicken. So what he did was he wrapped the chicken up with mud and chucked it on the fire. When the chicken was ready to be eaten, he cracked it open. Now the smell just perfumed the space, and so happened the Qing dynasty emperor was passing through. He smelled the smell, he ate it with the beggar, and he added it to the list of dishes to be served in the imperial court. First of all, what we need to do is our chicken. Okay, here I have a free-range chicken or kampung chicken. Now the reason why we use free-range chicken is because this is a dish that really just encapsulates the essence of chicken. So you want to make sure you get the best quality of chicken you can find out there. Okay, now we got to trim this a little bit, remove the neck. I'm going to be removing the feet. Okay, now one tip to note when cutting off chicken feet, especially when you're going to be roasting chicken or braising chicken, especially whole chicken, is don't cut at the joint, because when you cut at the joint, when the chicken shrinks, you're gonna get the skin coming all the way up here and you expose the bone. So that's not very nice. So we cut it towards the feet side, yeah, so not directly at the joint. Here's the joint, you cut below. There we go, beautiful. Back in. This is a spice powder that is made specifically for like salted chicken. Okay, so it's the same seasoning I'm using as the salted chicken seasoning. This is about 40-50 grams. Marinate this chicken with this spice powder. You want to get this seasoning into the cavity as well. Some people, especially home cooks, they don't really use this because there is some MSG inside this seasoning powder. I mean, so it really is up to you. If you don't want to use this, you can season it with soy sauce, sesame oil, white pepper, salt, a little bit of garlic powder maybe. You can make up your own sort of seasoning powder, but I love this seasoning taste. To that, I'm also going to be adding in some sesame oil, about a tablespoon, some soy sauce, 1 tablespoon. Now, because I'm using the seasoning powder, I'm not going to be adding too much of soy sauce because we don't want the chicken to be too salty. But if you're not using a seasoning powder, you can add a little bit more soy sauce in there. Give this a good mix. The reason for the soy sauce is also it gives the chicken a nice color. Get some of that seasoning inside the cavity so that it flavors the chicken from the inside out. Rub it all around and let this sit for at least an hour to 2 hours. I have a couple of herbs, Chinese herbs, that we're going to use in this Beggar'S chicken recipe. Unfortunately guys, I can't tell you the names of all these herbs, but I can tell you how I got this combination. It's very easy. You can go to the Chinese medicine shop, just tell them you want to make Beggar'S chicken, and they will have pre-packed the herb combination that is for Beggar'S chicken. I will try and get it in the description to the best I can, but remember, if not, just go to the medicinal shop, tell them you want to make Beggar'S chicken, and they will prepare the herbs for you. Now, all these goes into the pot, about 2.5 cups of water, and we're going to boil it and reduce it. Now, when we boil and reduce, we're extracting the flavors from all those herbs into the liquid, and that liquid is later on going to be baked together with the chicken, and we're going to stuff all the remaining herbs inside the cavity so that that chicken is going to be so aromatic. Just talking about it, I'm salivating. All right, so that was going to chill. This is going to reduce. I'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, so now I've separated the herb liquid and the herbs, yeah, into two separate bowls. Now this chicken's been marinating away for about an hour, hour and a half. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start stuffing this chicken. Now I'm going to also add a little bit of ginger. It's about 20 grams of ginger. We're gonna add that into the cavity of the chicken. Grab some of those herbs, stuff it inside. Doesn't matter if you can't fit everything in. Yeah, some can be on the exterior as well, it's fine. Now we have our aluminium foil. I'm gonna go with a double layer because this chicken is gonna have some liquid and I do not want the foil to have a leak. Beautiful. Chicken inside. The rest of the herbs can be around. All right, now I've created sort of like a pocket, right? And now we're going in with the rest of the herb liquid. All right, so once we've poured in the liquid, make sure there's no leak. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna close off this opening. All right, so we've done wrapping it with foil. Now we're gonna wrap it in paper. Traditionally, there are a lot of people who use lotus leaf. All right, so dried lotus leaf, you hydrate them in water and then you use it to wrap. But this time around, I couldn't find lotus leaf at the medicine shop, so I'm gonna use paper. Okay, so I've got my clay. I guess I have to put a bit of muscle in there to roll it out. So now we're gonna wrap our chicken. Just gonna use some water so the clay sticks on the paper. From what I've done, this baby isn't easy to manage. There we go. Just wrap this baby around, pinch it on both ends, knife the sides. So the idea is to get them sealed up, so all these joints sort of prevent any steam from being able to escape this clay so that the chicken sort of cooks inside and seal airtight parcel. Into a baking tray, and this is going into the oven. I've preheated the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. All right, and we're gonna let it go for 2 hours because I don't just want the chicken to be cooked, but I want it so tender that you can sort of use a chopstick and just peel out the flesh of the chicken. All right, so after about 2.5 hours, I've kept the chicken in there. Let's remove this. There we go. Oh my goodness, I have a leak, y'all. Well, I have a bit of a leak on the side, if you can see. I guess the way it's wrapped wasn't great. Like again, it's my first time doing it, so. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the moment of truth. It is solid as a rock. Oh, but as I open it up, I can smell the herbs from the chicken. Exposing the foil. Pair of scissors. Oh, look at that. I think the way I cooked it was right. It's just that maybe the wrapping technique wasn't great. So I might have juice loss. But, ladies and gentlemen, it does look great. Okay. Still have some juice that's trapped on the inside. Look at that. All right, so now Oh, look at how tender that is. It just falls off the bone. You know what? I gotta do this justice. Ooh, hot. For some of that juice. Oh my God. Guys, the chicken is so tender, and because we use free-range chicken, you really taste the sweetness of that chicken that comes through. And look at that. Dip that chicken into that juice, that broth. The broth is so intense, you know, with the herbs that we have reduced into that broth, and the sweetness of the chicken, the essence of the chicken has been delivered into that broth, and it just makes for such a wonderful sauce. My only regret in this first tryout is not actually being able to retain enough of that broth in there, because it is just, it's like chicken essence, drinking chicken essence, but with a lot more herbs in there. Absolutely delicious. For a chicken dish, it really doesn't get any better than this. Guys, if you've enjoyed this recipe, you think it's added value to you, do click the like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.